Chapter 20. Ta-ha. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Ta-ha. We have not sent down the Quran to you, O Muhammad, to cause you distress, but only as a reminder to those who fear Allah. A revelation from Him, Allah, who has created the earth and high heavens. The most gracious Allah, who rose over the mighty throne in a manner that suits His majesty. To Him belongs all that is in the heavens, and all that is on the earth, and all that is between them, and all that is under the soil. And if you, O Muhammad, speak the invocation aloud, then indeed He knows the secret, and that which is yet more hidden. Allah, none has the right to be worshipped but He. To Him belong the best names. And has there come to you the story of Moses? When he saw a fire, he said to his family, "Wait, indeed I have seen a fire. Perhaps I can bring you some burning brand from it, or find some guidance at the fire." And when he came to the fire, he was called by name. "O Moses, indeed I am your Lord. So take off your shoes, for you are in the sacred valley of Tuwa. I have chosen you. So listen to that which is inspired to you. Indeed, I am Allah. None has the right to be worshipped but me. So worship me and perform prayer for my remembrance. Indeed, the hour is coming, and my will is to keep it hidden, so that every person may be rewarded for that which he strives. Therefore, do not let the one who does not believe in the day of resurrection, paradise and hell, but follows his own lusts, divert you, lest you perish." "And what is that in your right hand, O Moses?" He said, "This is my stick, on which I lean, and with which I beat down branches for my sheep, and with which I find other uses." Allah said, "Cast it down, O Moses." He cast it down, and it was a snake, moving quickly. Allah said, "Grasp it, and do not fear. We shall return it to its former state. And press your right hand to your left side. It will come forth white and shining, without any disease, as another sign, that we may show you some of our greater signs. Go to Pharaoh. Indeed, he has transgressed all bounds in disbelief and disobedience, and has behaved arrogantly and as a tyrant." Moses said, "O my Lord, open for me my chest, grant me self-confidence, contentment, and boldness, and ease my task for me, and remove the defect from my tongue, so that they may understand my speech, and appoint for me a helper for my family, Aaron, my brother, and increase my strength with him, and let him share my task of conveying your message, that we may glorify you much, and remember you much. Indeed, you are He that sees us always." Allah said, "You are granted your request, O Moses. And indeed, we conferred a favor on you another time before this, when we inspired your mother with that which we inspired, saying, 'Put the child into a chest, and put it into the river Nile. Then the river shall cast it up onto the bank, and there an enemy of mine and an enemy of his shall take him. And I showered you with love from me, in order that you may be brought up under my eye.' And when your sister went and said, 'Shall I show you one who will nurse him?' So we restored you to your mother, that her eyes might be refreshed, and so she would not grieve. Then you killed a man, but we saved you from great distress, and tried you with a heavy trial. Then you stayed a number of years with the people of Midian. Then you came here, according to the fixed term which I ordained for you, O Moses. And I have prepared you for myself and for my service. Go you and your brother with my proofs, signs, and revelations, and do not slacken and become weak in my remembrance. Go both of you to Pharaoh. Indeed, he has transgressed all bounds in disbelief and disobedience, and behaved arrogantly and as a tyrant. And speak to him mildly. Perhaps he may accept admonition or fear Allah." They said, "Our Lord, indeed, we fear in case he should hasten to punish us, or in case he should transgress all bounds against us." Allah said, "Fear not, Indeed, I am with you both, hearing and seeing. So both of you go to him and say, Indeed, we are messengers of your Lord. So let the children of Israel go with us, and do not torment them. Indeed, we have come with a sign from your Lord. And peace will be upon him who follows the guidance. Truly, it has been revealed to us that the torment will be for him who denies and does not believe in the oneness of Allah and his messenger, and turns away from the truth and obedience of Allah. Pharaoh said, Who then, O Moses, is the Lord of you both? Moses said, Our Lord is he who gave to each thing its form and nature, and then guided it aright. Pharaoh said, What then is the condition of the generations of old? Moses said, The knowledge of that is with my Lord in a record. My Lord is neither unaware nor does he forget. He is the one who has made the earth for you like a bed spread out, and has opened roadways and paths for you in it, and has sent down rain from the sky. And we have brought forth with it various kinds of vegetation. Eat and pasture your cattle. Indeed, in this are proofs and signs for men of understanding. From the earth we created you, and into it we shall return you, and from it we shall bring you out once again. And indeed we showed Pharaoh all our signs and evidences, but he denied them, and he refused. Pharaoh said, Have you come to drive us out of our land with your magic, O Moses? Then indeed we can produce magic just like it. So appoint a meeting between us and you, which neither we nor you shall fail to keep, in an open and wide place, where both shall have a just and equal chance, and all can witness the competition. Moses said, Your appointed meeting is the day of the festival, and let the people assemble when the sun has risen. So Pharaoh withdrew, devised his plot, and then came back. Moses said to them, Woe to you! Do not invent a lie against Allah, lest he should destroy you completely by a torment. And surely, he who invents a lie against Allah will fail miserably. Then they debated with one another about what they must do, and they kept their talk secret. They said, Indeed, these are two magicians. Their object is to drive you out from your land with magic and overcome your chiefs and nobles. So devise your plot and then assemble in line, and whoever overcomes this day will be indeed successful. They said, O Moses, would you throw first, or shall we be the first to throw? Moses said, No, you throw first. Then their ropes and their sticks, by their magic, appeared to him as though they moved quickly. So Moses conceived a fear in himself. Allah said, Fear not. Surely you will have the upper hand. And throw that which is in your right hand. It will swallow up that which they have made. That which they have made is only a magician's trick, and the magician will never be successful, no matter the amount of skill he may attain. So the magicians fell down prostrate. They said, We believe in the Lord of Aaron and Moses. Pharaoh said, Do you believe in Moses before I give you permission to do so? Indeed, he must be your chief, the one who taught you magic. I will surely cut off your hands and feet on opposite sides, and I will surely crucify you on the trunks of date palms, and you shall surely know which of us, I, Pharaoh, or the Lord of Moses, can give you the most severe and more lasting torment. They said, We do not prefer you over the clear signs that have come to us, and to Allah who created us. So decree whatever you desire to decree. For you can only decree regarding this life of the world. Indeed, we have believed in our Lord, that he may forgive us our faults, and the magic to which you compelled us to. And Allah is better as in rewarding in comparison to your reward, and more lasting as regards punishment in comparison to your punishment. Indeed, whoever comes to his Lord as a criminal, polytheist, disbeliever in the oneness of Allah and his messengers, then surely for him is hell, in which he will neither die nor live. But whoever comes to him as a believer in the oneness of Allah and has done righteous good deeds, for such are the high ranks in the hereafter, gardens of eternity in paradise, under which rivers flow, where they will abide forever. Such is the reward of those who purify themselves by abstaining from all kinds of sins and evil deeds, which Allah has forbidden, and by doing all that which Allah has ordained. And indeed, we inspired Moses, saying, "Travel by night with my slaves, and strike a dry path for them in the sea, fearing neither to be overtaken by Pharaoh, nor being afraid of drowning in the sea." Then Pharaoh pursued them with his forces, but the sea completely overwhelmed them and covered them up. And Pharaoh led his people astray, and he did not guide them. O children of Israel, we delivered you from your enemy, and we made a covenant with you on the right side of the mount, and we sent down to you manna and quails, saying, "Eat of the good, lawful things which we have provided you, and commit no oppression, lest my anger should justly descend upon you. And he on whom my anger descends, he is indeed perished. And indeed, I am surely forgiving to him who repents, believes in my oneness, and associates none in worship with me, and does righteous good deeds, and then remains constant in doing them till his death." And what made you hasten from your people, O Moses? He said, "They are close on my footsteps, and I hastened to you, O my Lord, that you might be pleased." Allah said, "Indeed, we have tried your people in your absence, and the Sumerian has led them astray." Then Moses returned to his people in a state of anger and sorrow. He said, "O my people, did your Lord not promise you a fair promise? Did then the promise seem to you long in coming? Or did you desire that wrath should descend on you from your Lord, so you broke your promise to me by disbelieving in Allah and worshipping the calf?" They said, "We did not break the promise to you of our own will, but we were made to carry the weight of the ornaments of Pharaoh's people, so we cast them into the fire," and that was what the Sumerian suggested. Then he took out of the fire for them a statue of a calf, complete with its sounds. They said, "This is your God and the God of Moses. Moses has forgotten his God." Did they not see that it could not return to them a single word as an answer, and that it had no power either to harm them or to do them good? And Aaron indeed had said to them beforehand, "O my people, you are being tried in this, and indeed your Lord is Allah, the most gracious. So follow me and obey my order." They said, "We will not stop worshipping the calf until Moses returns to us." Moses said, "O Aaron, what stopped you when you saw them going astray? That you did not follow me according to my advice to you? Have you then disobeyed my order?" He, Aaron, said, "O son of my mother, do not seize me by my beard nor by my hair. Indeed, I feared lest you should say, 'You have caused a division among the children of Israel, and you have not respected my word.'" Moses said, "And what is the matter with you, O Sumerian? Why did you do such a thing?" The Sumerian said, "I saw what they did not see. So I took a handful of dust from the hoof print of the messenger Gabriel's horse, and threw it into the fire, in which were put the ornaments of Pharaoh's people and the calf. This my inner self suggested to me." Moses said, "Then go away. And indeed, your punishment in this life will be that you will say, 'Do not touch me,' and you will live alone, exiled away from mankind. And indeed, for a future torment, you have a promise that will not fail. And look at your God, to which you have been devoted. We shall certainly burn it and scatter its particles in the sea. Your God is only Allah, the One. None has the right to be worshipped but He. He has full knowledge of all things." Thus we relate to you, O Muhammad, some news from the past generations. And indeed, we have given you from us a reminder, this Quran. Whoever turns away from this Quran, does not believe in it, and does not act on its orders, indeed, they will bear a heavy burden of sins on the day of resurrection. They will abide in that state in the fire of hell, and evil indeed will be the load on them on the day of resurrection. The day when the trumpet will be blown, that day we shall gather the criminals, polytheists, sinners, and disbelievers, blind-eyed with black faces. In whispers they will speak to each other, saying, "You did not stay longer than 10 days." We know very well what they will say, when the best among them in knowledge and wisdom will say, "You stayed no longer than a day." And they ask you concerning the mountains, say, "My Lord will blast them and scatter them as particles of dust." Then he shall leave the earth as a level, smooth plain. You will see nothing crooked or curved. On that day, mankind will follow strictly the voice of Allah's caller, and no crookedness will they show to Allah's caller. And all voices will be humbled for the most gracious Allah, and nothing shall you hear but the low sounds of their footsteps. On that day, no intercession shall avail anyone except the one for whom the Most Gracious has given permission and whose word is acceptable to him. Allah knows what happens to his creatures in this world and what will happen to them in the hereafter, and they will never encompass anything of his knowledge. And all faces shall be humbled before Allah, the ever-living, the one who sustains and protects all that exists. And he who carries a burden of wrongdoing and who disbelieved in Allah, ascribed partners to him, and did deeds of his disobedience, will indeed become a complete failure on that day. And he who works deeds of righteousness, while he is a believer in the oneness of Allah, then he will have no fear of injustice, nor of any curtailment of his reward. And thus we have sent it down as a Quran in Arabic, and have explained in it in great detail the warnings, in order that they may fear Allah, or that it may cause them to have a lesson from it. Then high above all be Allah, the true King, and do not be in haste, O Muhammad, with the Quran before its revelation is completed to you, and say, "My Lord, increase me in knowledge." And indeed, we made a covenant with Adam before, but he forgot, and we found on his part no firm willpower. And remember when we said to the angels, "Bow down to Adam." They bowed down, all except Satan, who refused. Then we said, "O Adam, indeed this is an enemy to both you and your wife. So do not let him get you both out of paradise, so that you be distressed in misery. Indeed, you have a promise from us that you will never be hungry in there nor unclothed, and you will not suffer from thirst nor from the sun's heat." Then Satan whispered to him, saying, "O Adam, shall I lead you to the tree of eternity, and to a kingdom that will never waste away?" Then they both ate of the tree, and so their private parts appeared to them, and they began to stick on themselves leaves from paradise for covering. Thus did Adam disobey his Lord, and he went astray. Then his Lord chose him, and turned to him with forgiveness, and gave him guidance. Allah said, "Get down from paradise to the earth, both of you together. Some of you are an enemy to some others. Then, if there comes to you guidance from me, then whoever follows my guidance shall neither go astray nor fall into distress and misery. But whoever turns away from my reminder, indeed for him is a life of hardship, and we shall raise him up blind on the day of resurrection. He will say, 'O my Lord, why have you raised me up blind while I had sight before?' Allah will say, 'Proofs, signs, and revelations came to you, but you disregarded them. You left them and did not think deeply about them. You turned away from them. And so on this day, you will be neglected in the hell fire, away from Allah's mercy. And thus do we recompense him who transgresses beyond bounds, commits the great sins, and disobeys his Lord Allah, and does not believe in his messengers and his revealed books like this Quran, and does not believe in the proofs, signs, and revelations of his Lord. And the torment of the hereafter is far more severe and more lasting. Is it not a guidance for them to know how many generations we have destroyed before them, in whose dwellings they walk? Indeed, in this are signs for men of understanding. And had it not been for a word that went forth before from your Lord, and a term determined, their punishment would necessarily have come in this world. So bear patiently, O Muhammad, with what they say, and glorify the praises of your Lord before the rising of the sun and before its setting, and during some of the hours of the night and at the sides of the day, that you may become pleased with the reward which Allah shall give you. And do not strain your eyes in longing for the things we have given for enjoyment to various groups of the polytheists and disbelievers in the oneness of Allah. We have given them the splendor of the life of this world, that we may test them. But the good reward in the hereafter of your Lord is better and more lasting. And enjoin prayer on your family, and be patient in offering your prayers. We do not ask of you any provision, or for you to give us something. We provide for you, and the good end of paradise is for the pious. They say, why does he not bring us a sign from his Lord? Has there not come to them the proof of that which is written in the former scriptures, the Torah and the Gospel, about the coming of the Prophet Muhammad? And if we had destroyed them with a torment before the Messenger Muhammad and the Quran, they would surely have said, our Lord, if only you had sent us a messenger, we should certainly have followed your proofs, signs, and revelations before we were humiliated and disgraced. Say, O Muhammad, each one, believer or disbeliever, is waiting, so you wait too, and you shall know who are on the straight and even path of Allah's religion of Islamic monotheism, and who have let themselves be guided on the right.
Which is Creative Commons. We proudly encourage the distribution of our information and knowledge sharing in general, so please feel free to download and distribute this video. If you are interested in supporting Nexity's work and spreading informative content with us, please visit nexity.com for more. You can find and share honest, uncensored information, empowering you to know the facts and choose your own stance. Don't forget to follow us on social media for additional news and updates from Nexity. Most importantly, never stop searching for facts and the truth. Nexity. Grow from uninformed follower to world leader today.